We are Ole Miss Rebels. As Mississippi's flagship university, we dig deeper, see farther, work harder. We pioneered human organ transplants. We helped prove Einstein's theory of gravitational waves. We are conducting life-changing research that solves the problems of today. We are Ole Miss, transforming lives and the world.
Welcome to the POMcast with Stephen Willis. Now we're going to do things a little different. We are going to provide an honest look at Ole Miss athletics for the fan, by the fan, and of the fan. That is what we do. Hell be to me. I'm just kidding. Tune in for some Ole Miss sports news. We're going to give it to you straight. Yeah, right now. The POMcast starts now. It happens now. Holy cow. Listen to me. It's starting. Well, it's going to start right about now. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the POMcast on this beautiful Wednesday day, broadcasting to you live from the palatial Central Florida studios. My name is Stephen Willis. I am your host of this magical mystery tour, and I hope we are prepared to have a little bit of fun today. Today we're going to do things we're going to try and start a new tradition. We're like a discussion Wednesday thing. Chat's up. You can catch us over at our Discord. You can comment on the live stream, and it will show up on the screen. And hopefully we can get that going back and forth. Eventually, I'm not expecting much today. There's no pressure, but it's on Discord at Positively Ole Miss live stream. Actually, you can follow us on Twitter at the Rebel Walk and at the Stephen Willis. You can catch us on YouTube at Positively Ole Miss. Facebook.com/POMcast and the Rebel Walk. You can catch us on YouTube at Positively Ole Miss, all one word. No, not all one word. That's the next one. Twitch, Positively Ole Miss, all one word. For YouTube, go in there and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. That'll not only tell you that we're streaming, it'll tell you what we're streaming about. We have some stuff coming up later in the week. With Corey Burton coming by to do a post-draft around the SEC schedule. We're not really ready to make that a regular thing yet. We're going to wait until closer to July or so, but he's going to come by and do that. And also Chad Smith is going to come by tomorrow. We'll have the preview for the Texas A&M series. Of course, you can join the conversation on Discord at Positively Ole Miss. We look forward to you doing that as well. Any comment that you make in the live screen will be shown via bot right up there. It'll go into our Discord server as well, and I'll be able to see everything. So just to let you know about that. But we figured we'd give it a try and start doing that on Wednesdays just to give you the option of doing that. Ole Miss, a 15-12 winner over Arkansas State last night. Good win from the team, lots of runs. Justin Bench went 4 for 4 on May the 4th Be With You Day. That was pretty cool. And let's see. Oh, also, if you're interested in audio, you can catch a podcast at Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, and Pandora. We're also on smaller podcatchers. But just, search it out, find it, and do all that. We are at currently about 1/3 of our record listening through 5 days. And actually, not even count 5 days, more 4 days. After 4 days, we're 1/3 of the way through to the record. So thank you for listening. I'm completely humbled, and I just want you to be excited. I appreciate you also bearing with me while I've been under the weather this week. I'm just about there coming out of it today, but there's a little bit that I have to do. And before we get started, I want to talk to you about the Vault Society. That's the big push right now for the Ole Miss Athletics Foundation, the Vault Society support, which is a 5-year commitment of support. Membership starts at $5,000 a year, and there's a benefit chart on the site. We'll get to that in a second. All gifts to Ole Miss between now and June 30th will receive triple points. Red points are non-deductible and go towards priority seating. Blue points are 90% tax deductible and go towards parking and non-home ticketed games, postseason, bowl games, neutral site. There's a certain game coming up at the Georgia Dome on Labor Day that would fall neatly into that. If you have any more questions about the Vault Society, hit them up at give2athletics.com. Again, that is give2athletics.com. Ole Miss, a 15-12 winner over Arkansas State. And I've seen some people, woe is me, oh my gosh, we're in trouble. And if we get to Omaha with our bullpen, I saw a tweet talking about the bullpen, we're going to be in trouble as well. Now, the few numbers, once you get to Omaha, it matters less because there's so much space in between games. I mean, the same three relievers can pretty much pitch every day. And if you got two big starters, you can do a rotation of two. Once you get to Omaha, you could have a Doug Nikhazy and Gunnar Hoagland over and over and over again if you want. So that's not necessarily a problem. The number 3 starters can go to the pen, and that'll bolster that up as well. But the point is, with a sample size as large as college baseball, and to a lesser extent college basketball, style points just don't matter because there's an actual record that you can look at. Now, there's a football mentality because there's so few games and it's just like a flash in the pan that you only have a little bit to make an impression. That's where the style points argument comes from. It comes from the college football mindset of we got to show out and make an impression early or we're in trouble. Now, if you're Alabama or somebody like that, you don't have to do that because there's an expectation they're going to be good. But I'm talking about like the mid-tier teams. So the mid-tier teams like Ole Miss, like Texas Tech, Arizona State, those guys, the mid-tiers like North Carolina. Now, everybody wants to make that respect jump and they grab an eye-popping thing. But the reality is when it comes to baseball, the result only lasts until the next preview is starting. They play so many games. If this Tuesday night game, the day of the Texas A&M series, is going to be gone. It might as well be 50-0 the result. The bullpen throws a great game, and all of that happens because it just doesn't matter anymore. It's all gone. It's about you want to win. You want to win every game. I understand that, but there's games when it comes to like this that just don't necessarily mean as much. It's kind of an inter-squad game. It's kind of something like that. I mean, Ole Miss has played Arkansas State multiple times this year. They're going to play Little Rock multiple times this year. I think they're going to play UT Martin multiple times this year. It's a little cubby hole of traveling down to the game. Can you get there by bussing in? Can you get there quickly and do that? And it's essentially just to kind of keep you warm and keep you going. But in the reality, it only matters if you lose the game. And Ole Miss is not losing those type games this year. It doesn't matter if you win by 1 run or 15. It's going to be forgotten in time for the weekend. Now, Ole Miss and College Station this weekend, a huge series. Chad Smith is going to come on tomorrow. We're going to talk all about that and do a nice little preview. But it's going to be a huge series because you can look at it as, let's see, a chance to go 16-8 with Vanderbilt and Georgia still to go. I mean, you have a chance at a fairly special season still by SEC standards, but it requires getting 3 this weekend. If you're 16-8 after this weekend, I would say you're on schedule. You're averaging winning 2 out of every 3, and that's with losing 4 series in a row in conference play. It's the most bizarre thing. It's either a sweep or you lose the series. That's how this season has gone. So we'll see how we do on that first game. That first game seems to be the litmus test, and you can go from there because Doug on swing day is pretty fantastic. You either bring the series back to 1-1 or you win the series. And once you win the series after Doug, it helps the young guys come in. And also, they do a fantastic job of protecting the bullpen. We're going to get into all this tomorrow. We're going to bring an expert on and talk all that you need to know about the Ole Miss Texas A&M series, the starting pitchers for the weekend, what they throw, what they look like, the batting order for Texas A&M, who should we be afraid of, what are we looking for, how should we handle the situation, stuff like that. We're going to get with Chad Smith and talk all of that stuff. And then on Sunday, after it's over, we're going to have Chris Muller to talk about what happened and how did we handle that. It's going to be a pretty cool thing. Looking over at the box score, see things that stand out. Justin Bench 4 for 4, Ben Van Cleve 4 for 5, no home runs. Calvin Harris catching, that was something I wasn't expecting. I didn't know if his arm was ready to do that, but apparently he got behind the plate and also went 2 for 2 at the plate last night. Jacob Gonzalez 2 for 6, Peyton Chatagnier 3 for 6, and then the 3 and 4 hitters actually did not get a hit last night, so that's bizarre. So all in all, it's pretty good. Ole Miss used, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, like 10 pitchers last night. Nobody threw a lot of pitches except for maybe Corey Adcock, who started the game. The max is 30 pitches by Tyler Myers. He went 1 2/3. So you can chalk it up to a bullpen session and get ready for the series this weekend. It looks like the bullpen is going to be at full strength. All right, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about soccer, and we're going to talk a little bit about replacing the draft picks in football moving forward. So it should be pretty interesting. But stick around for that, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Only 10% of us get enough daily exercise.
And that number is dropping.
Nearly 30% of us are overweight or obese.
We spend 6 hours a day in front of a screen.
As a result, we now have a shorter life expectancy than our parents.
But give us the right start in sports, and we'll never stop.
Learn how at active4life.ca.
Hey, this is Stephen Willis from Positively Ole Miss. We're almost done with this break. We'll be back with good information quite soon.
The military has been in every generation of my family, and so has VA. It wasn't easy for my dad after Vietnam, but VA helped him and my mom get the home they'd always wanted. My grandpa's been coming to VA since World War II. They even helped him lay to rest one of his battle buddies from Normandy. And me, I followed in their footsteps and served with pride. And now that I'm out of the military, the GI Bill's helping me with school. Every generation of my family has served, and VA has served us all.
All right, welcome back to the POMcast. Stephen Willis, Palatial Central Florida Studios. I do appreciate you watching us today, and am just humbled by the growth of this over the past couple of months. So thank you very much for that. And I want to tell you a little bit about the rebelwalk.com. Evelyn and the team do a fantastic job. They provide a subscriber level service for no investment at all other than your time, which we all know the time commitment is the number one commitment when it comes to whether or not you partake or do not partake a certain piece of information or content or any product. It could be going into a TJ Maxx, but that time commitment is going to be well worth it. These guys do a really great job and go above and beyond for you. Chad Smith does the preview. Chris Muller does the instant reaction. We're going to move into football and going to get Evie. We're going to get David Walker. We're going to get Jake Evans. I mean, there's so many different writers and so many different personalities and so many different opinions for each sport. It's just a really cool thing. again, I appreciate you being patient with me this week, being under the weather. I did not want you to have to go without, so I decided to tough it through. And whenever you see our captain this weekend playing on a torn ACL, you kind of deal with allergies. But that was pretty good. Ole Miss soccer getting ready to kick off. Let's see how long. About 45 minutes from now, against Duke. Number 9 seed at Duke in Cary, North Carolina. That's a suburb of Raleigh, North Carolina. That is going to be really close to Durham, so it's fairly close to a home game for the Blue Devils. But when it comes to this, the Carolina Courage play there. The NWSL thing it's a chance to get put in the shop window a little bit and get ready for the NWSL draft. You have the Carolina Railhawks, North Carolina FC that also play there. They have a fairly storied history of soccer in the Research Triangle. And sorry about that. You just have to go in and do the best you can and perform and execute, because you are going to be in the shop window there. The top level of women's soccer in this country, one of the teams are going to be there, and you know that they're going to film it. They're going to get it out to the other NWSL teams, and it's going to serve a nice scouting thing for them. But, I root for them against the Duke Blue Devils. I'm going to watch it. I think the stream is at ncaa.com. The stream is at ncaa.com. It starts at 11 Central, 12 Eastern. And that'll provide an avenue for Ole Miss to do something they've never done before. And I don't think Ole Miss has ever made an Elite Eight. They've made a Sweet 16 before, but not an Elite Eight. Sorry about that. Let's see. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about what's going on. All right, sorry about that. Kind of a little bit of a coughing fit. My allergies got the best of me. I didn't have a water nearby. I'm sorry. So we went and took care of that. So, again, a big game for the Rebels against the Duke Blue Devils today in Cary, North Carolina. Going to talk a little bit about the importance of that and what that means. So, just a little bit about me. Since my surgery up here, I don't do well with pressure in the head. That includes bending over. That includes coughing. That includes sneezing. There's certain ways that I have to do that because the pressure literally hurts. It's a pretty severe thing, and can knock me out of commission fairly quickly. I thought I was getting over the coughing and sneezing from the allergies, but today apparently one more surprise was in store for me. So that's pretty awesome. So I'll deal with the pain. I'll deal with all that in the next couple of moments. But good luck to the Ole Miss soccer team as they play Duke in, I guess 40 minutes. So that is going to be pretty cool. Now, Elijah Moore and Kenny Yeboah to the Jets. And let's see, Royce Newman to the Packers. How do we replace them? Everybody's worried about how we replace them. Everybody's worried about what we're going to do. How we're going to make the offense look like it did last year. Well, the offense isn't going to look exactly like it did last year. Now, there's little pockets of things that you need to realize that they're always going to do, and that's going to be using the tight end. That is going to be using the slot receiver as the primaries in this offense. But there's going to be plays designed for double moves, throwing the ball downfield for the outside guys. Now, the outside guys are always going to be blockers and things like that. And when Braylon Brown gets here, he's going to do a lot for that position. Everybody's worried about the depth they saw whenever the receivers went down. Actually, I'm a huge fan of the spring game because Lane Kiffin absolutely made that film worthless. And that's just very cool. Yeah, he took a spring game that was being televised and made it unusable. And you got to see fun things, you got to do fun things, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. But Braylon Brown and J.J. Henry coming in the next couple of weeks. They should be here fairly soon. And once they start working and growing, and I hope they dive into the playbook, I expect J.J. Henry and Jacour Pearson to do some kind of a hybrid role of what Elijah Moore did last year. Thank you very much. I hope I feel better soon too. But whenever you're dealing with a receiver with the skill set of Elijah Moore, you're going to have to replace that different way. J.J. Henry is more of a Jalen Waddle type slot than an Elijah Moore type slot. Elijah Moore is quicker than he is fast, generally on the football field. That's the way he plays. Jalen Waddle was just a blur. J.J. Henry is a similar type player, another Texas player, similar type build. Played on the outside some in high school, but I can see him getting into the middle and into the slot very soon. Take that with the Braylon Brown. And Braylon Brown in a normal... well, I do think Jerry Neely is going to take some of that. I do think Jerry Neely's role is predominantly going to be in the backfield because he's our best backfield playmaker. Now, Henry Parrish and Snoop Connor allows you to do slightly different things, but Jerry and Ely's explosiveness back there is just like the way I hate to say it, the way they use Reggie Bush at USC. It provides a fear factor for the defense, and that fear factor opens up other things. So even if Jerry and Ely is not necessarily being used, he's still having an effect on the defense and opening up the middle of the field because, as I explained, they use the slot receiver and the tight end, and most of this offense is designed for in between the hashes, and then they can do the outside stuff with the double moves on the outside, and there's going to be less help for the outside because they're so scared of Jerry and Ely. But I do think Jerry Neely, he's an excellent jet sweep guy. He has excellent hands. But I wouldn't expect him to be out there very often. I'm curious what John Rice is going to do. Once we get into fall camp, is he going to move out to the slot full time? You can see there's benefit for him staying at quarterback and being a backup quarterback. It's going to be interesting. We have weapons. I know, like I was saying before, Braylon Brown, in a normal recruitment year, he would have a chance to be a 5-star by the time of the end of the year. But because the camp circuit and everything else got shut down, there was less avenues for him to advance, to grow, to do all that. He's an extremely talented wide receiver that gets forgotten about a lot of times because basically he committed so early, and everybody tends to forget about him. But Braylon Brown is still a star of this class. And I agree that John Rice is Taysom Hill. You can line him up about anywhere. But I think his value actually serves being the backup quarterback right now. We'll have to see how the fall camp looks, but as of right now, I would feel better with him being backup quarterback. I'm going to give you a little bit of time back. Sorry about the coughing fit today. Like I said, I'm trying to get over an illness and trying to fight my way through it. Hopefully tomorrow everything will be better. But until then, we'll talk about the POMcast. Hopefully we'll talk about the soccer team going to the Elite Eight. And we'll talk about the weekend series tomorrow. But I hope everybody has a great day. And honestly, hotty toddy.